a major international debate at the prestigious Oxford Union, set to tackle the contentious topic of India's policy towards Pakistan, has dramatically collapsed into a public showdown of accusations and recriminations. What was supposed to be a rigorous intellectual exchange ended in a farce, with both Indian and Pakistani sides blaming each other for the cancellation. Let us unpack this chaotic story of what is being called a deliberate Pakistani gambit to dodge a face-to-face confrontation. The motion for the debate was a spicy one. This House believes that India's response to Pakistan is a populist strategy sold as security policy. The stage was set for a high-stakes argument at one of the world's most famous debating societies. However, the event spiraled into chaos just hours before it was scheduled to begin on November 27th. The Indian side, represented by lawyer J.C. Deepak, launched a blistering attack, alleging a complete organizational failure and a calculated move by the Pakistani delegation to avoid the debate. In a detailed account on X, formerly Twitter, Deepak laid out a timeline of events that directly contradicts the official statement from the Pakistan High Commission in London. According to Deepak, the entire event was on shaky ground from the start. He pointed out that key leadership positions within the Oxford Union were held by Pakistani nationals. He specifically named Musa Hari, the union's president, who is allegedly the son of Pakistan's Minister of Defense Production, and Raza Nazar, the treasurer. This raised early concerns about impartiality. The trouble escalated just 2 days before the debate when the original high-profile Indian speakers, former Army Chief General Naravane and Dr. Subramanian Swamy, had to pull out due to unavoidable commitments. This sent organizers scrambling for last-minute replacements. Despite the incredibly short notice, J.C. Deepak, who was already prepared to argue India's case, stepped up. He managed to rally support from within the UK, bringing Manu Khajuria and Pundit Satish K. Sharma onto the Indian team. They were ready to go, prepared to defend India's position. Then, the final collapse. Just hours before the debate, at 3:13 p.m., Deepak received a call. He was informed that the Pakistani delegation, which included high-profile figures like former Foreign Minister Haine Rabbani Khan and Defence Minister Khawaja Mohammad Asif, had not yet even landed in London. Naturally, hearing that their opponents wouldn't be there, the Indian team abandoned their journey to Oxford. Why travel for a debate that isn't happening? But here's where the story takes a truly farcical turn. Deepak later claimed to have received confirmation that the Pakistani delegation had, in fact, landed. Not only that, but they were reportedly already staying at a hotel right there in Oxford. This revelation prompted Deepak to issue a scathing condemnation. He accused the Pakistani side of deserting the battlefield even before the battle begins, suggesting they simply lacked the courage to face a live, unscripted debate. He didn't stop there. Deepak also heavily criticized the Oxford Union's leadership, accusing them of allowing the historic institution to be dragged in muck and effectively become a mouthpiece for the Pakistan High Commission. He implied the union's leadership was complicit in this mess, allowing their platform to be manipulated. Adding to the chorus of criticism from the Indian side was Shiv Sena lawmaker Priyanka Chopra. She took to X to mock the situation, posting, "Pakistan is crying again over an Oxford Union debate. This is for the record. Once again they have proved to be liars. Expecting any better from them was not even on my list." Her post amplified the sentiment that this was a deliberate act of evasion by Pakistan. Now, let's look at the other side of the story. The Pakistan High Commission in London released a completely different narrative. In their official statement, they expressed regret that the Indian delegation had withdrawn at the last minute. They pointed to the original lineup of General Naravane, Dr. Swami, and even Sachin Pilot, claiming their withdrawal handed a walkover to the Pakistani side. Their statement framed the situation as a failure of the Indian side, suggesting that India lacked the confidence to defend its security policy in what they called a neutral and intellectually rigorous debate. It was a classic case of pointing the finger directly back. So, who do you believe? On one hand, you have a detailed, minute-by-minute account from an Indian speaker who was on the ground, filled with allegations of deception and bad faith. He claims the Pakistani team was in town but hiding, and that the Oxford Union leadership, with its Pakistani connections, facilitated this disappearance. On the other hand, you have an official diplomatic statement from Pakistan, painting a picture of an Indian team that backed out, unable or unwilling to face scrutiny. They portray themselves as the wronged party, left on the stage with no one to debate. The core of the dispute seems to hinge on a simple yet crucial fact. Where was the Pakistani delegation? J. Sai Deepak's claim that he received confirmation they were in a hotel in Oxford is the bombshell. If true, it completely undermines the Pakistan High Commission's narrative and lends heavy credence to the accusation that they deliberately sabotaged the event to avoid a public grilling. It suggests they might have been worried about facing a sharp, well-prepared opponent like Deepak, who is known for his formidable debating skills. The Oxford Union, a bastion of free speech and intellectual rigor, now finds itself at the center of a diplomatic incident. Its reputation is on the line. The allegation that its leadership may have been compromised or manipulated is a serious one. For an institution that has hosted prime ministers, presidents, and Nobel laureates, being embroiled in what one side calls a farcical gambit is a major blow. This incident goes beyond just a cancelled debate. It's a miniature reflection of the larger, deeply ingrained mistrust between India and Pakistan. The information warfare, the conflicting narratives, and the public accusations are all hallmarks of the relationship between the two nuclear-armed neighbors. The battle wasn't fought in the debating hall with words and arguments, but on social media and through press releases, with accusations and spin. In the end, the real loser was the audience. They were denied the opportunity to hear a robust discussion on a critically important issue. The chance for an open, intellectual exchange on India's security policy was lost, replaced by a messy and undignified public spat. The motion itself, whether India's Pakistan policy is populism or genuine security, remains undebated, at least on that prestigious stage. What do you think happened? Was this a calculated Pakistani gambit to avoid a tough debate, or did the Indian side genuinely get cold feet and withdraw? The truth is likely buried under layers of political maneuvering. But one thing is clear: the Oxford Union debate of 2025 will be remembered not for the speeches that were given, but for the showdown that wasn't. Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on this whole fiasco? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on stories like this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.